So one of the great things about working with glitter as a medium is that it's this multi-dimensional medium. We're not just dealing with colors and textures, but we're also dealing with movement and light. So there's things to consider beyond just the colors that we're choosing, but we're also thinking about flake size and sparkle factor, so how it's going to interact with the light differently. There are 3 main sizes for glitter flake that you're going to most commonly find in the store. There is chunky flake. Chunky flake is a larger size flake. It is going to have more sparkle and it is going to appear larger on your artwork. Then there is fine glitter flake. This is what you most commonly find in dollar stores, is the fine glitter flake. Then there's ultra fine flake, which is what I most commonly use in my artworks. Think of glitter flake a little bit like pixels in digital artwork. So the smaller the pixel, the more resolution you get when it comes to digital artworks. So the smaller flake size that we use, the more detail we can communicate in glitter artwork. Ultrafine is also going to have more glitter flakes per square inch, so you're going to get more dynamic range. Chunky flake is something that I use for special techniques and different embellishments. I don't use it for the regular artwork creation. Fine flake I rarely use, and I use it mostly to communicate depth in the artwork. So when things are larger, they appear closer to you. Versus smaller, they appear further away. Then there's opacity when it comes to glitter. So an opaque flake, which is typically metallic glitter, is one that doesn't have any transparency, whereas an iridescent flake is something that is transparent. Iridescent flakes have different colors, but because of the transparency, those colors are not going to hold solid on your artwork. They can be used to layer, however, for different effects. But if we get iridescent flakes, when the glue dries, you are going to see the panel in the background or whatever color you have behind it. So that's not ideal for when we're using glitter to create flat colors on our artworks. We want to use solid opaque metallic flakes or holographic flakes. Holographic has more of a rainbow refraction in the flake. It has its golden color, but then it also has a rainbow reflection. I find that holographic doesn't give me as true of a color. When I'm looking to use a particular color, I prefer to get metallic opaque because it is more true to color. The holographics are going to reflect the light differently, and so it's going to have a different effect. So here's 2 different golds. This one is a metallic flake and this one is a holographic. And they're similar in color, but you can see how the finish is different. Metallic flake only reflects the one color, whereas the holographic reflects a rainbow. Here in a chunky flake, it's easier to see the iridescent nature of the flake. So this is a chunky iridescent, and you can see that it does have this nice yellow color, but when you look up close, the panel in the background is somewhat visible. It takes layering more glitter to get a more true color, and this isn't ideal for the techniques that we're going to be using in this project. You can see the difference in how the metallic flake holds color. So we have flake size and we have opacity. The next thing we'll talk about is sparkle factor. On the scale of sparkle factor, the most sparkly is holographic glitter because it's reflecting all the colors of the rainbow, so it stands out the most. Then next is metallic opaque glitters. This is what I most commonly use for all my artwork creations. This is the next sparkliest glitter. So if this is a 5, this is a 4. The next level would be iridescent glitters, because they are sparkly and a lot of them do have a rainbow reflection as well. But because of the transparency, they're not fully reflecting the light. Then there's something called pearlescent flakes. And pearlescent is kind of like a powder flake where it doesn't have really any sparkle. If you look up close, there's a slight satin sheen. These glitters are not something I use frequently, but they are interesting to use because they have more vibrant colors. So when I'm trying to achieve a particularly saturated or vibrant color effect, that's when I start to utilize pearlescent flakes. They also offer neon colors. This one is a neon pearlescent, and this kind of color you can really only get this vibrant, this saturated when it's pearlescence. And it's this powder flake. Sometimes called pearlescent, but it's also called solid prisms. I'll show you something having to do with white glitters, because there's different types that you can get depending on the effect that you want. If you want a solid white effect, you want to get a pearlescent white. This is going to be an opaque flake that's not going to be transparent at all, so you hold that solid white color. So if you're looking to achieve a white effect, that's what you want to get. But more commonly, you might find this kind of white glitter, which is actually a transparent snow glitter. There is an iridescent white and a snow white. These are both transparent flakes, but they're what you most commonly find in craft stores. So the one white is going to have like a rainbow effect, and the other one doesn't have a rainbow effect, but when they dry, both of them are going to show the canvas or whatever color is behind it. It's not going to appear white like it does in the bottle. So if you want a solid white effect, you want to get a pearlescent white, because that's going to be opaque and holds the exact color. However, it's not as sparkly. So if you're looking for more sparkle factor, you can always layer the snow color on top of a white. And you can of course also use silver if you want to create sort of a white look effect in your artworks. And let me show you what they all look like side by side. So for the most sparkly, you want to use the silver. For the truest white, you want to use the powdered pearlescent. For a snowy soft effect, you can use the more transparent snow glitter. If you want that, but reflecting more rainbow colors, then you have the iridescent snow. And this is an example of the glow glitter, so you can see that it does appear sort of white at first, but it has the yellow tint to it. There's also some higher sparkle factor iridescent whites. With the larger flake, they have a lot more sparkle effect. And this is an example of the iridescent white, but in a larger fine flake. And you can see how the sparkle factor compares when you use a larger flake. Also, something else I want to show you when it comes to black glitter. There are black holographic glitters and then the solid opaque metallic black. I want to show you the difference between the two because the color varies when you're using holographic. Because it's reflecting the rainbow more, it doesn't look as dark as opaque flakes. There's also all types of other specialty glitters that you can get. There's the glow in the dark glitter, there's a UV light reactive glitter which glows under the black lights, and also fluorescence will typically glow under the black lights as well. There's a really cool high reflectivity glitter. This type is hard to find. I've found it at TRILLI, which I have a promo code for them as well. There's a link in the description for that. This type of glitter, it's more rare to find and it has like a special film on it and it reflects the light really beautifully. So if you're looking for like a standout specialty glitter. Also color shift glitter, which has, two different colors depending on which way the light hits it. Again, TRILLI has a lot of selection of these types. My main sources for glitter are TRILLI and bulkglitters.com. If you have any really cool resources for glitter, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for other sources. What I love about both of them is TRILLI has some really great specialty types and unique flake sizes and flake shapes. And bulk glitters is great for really high quality made in USA glitter and then really rare to find glitter colors. So I love them for finding difficult to find colors and good quality. They used to have this awesome line called the Fire Glow series, and they were a high reflectivity glitter that was really beautiful. They had really vibrant pinks and different colors. They unfortunately don't have that one anymore. If you happen to find Venus Web, that color, on any other source, please let me know in the comments, because I would definitely love to buy that one again. But they have a lot of cool, rare colors. For example, some of the more rare colors in glitter are dark blues, dark greens, different gray varieties. So usually you can find silver and then like a black, sort of charcoal black shades, but finding gray tones in between, different sort of shades of gray, is more difficult to find. So different shades, usually you can find one or two of main colors, but finding the like really darker shades and really pastel shades of different colors is more difficult to find in regular glitter stores, and definitely helpful with glitter art to add dynamic range to your artworks. So if you find that those sort of shades, definitely pick them up. Also, brown is a more difficult to find shade. There's usually like one or two standard brown tones that you can find pretty easily, but finding a really dark brown or a really sort of golden light brown is more rare. There's a lot more to say about glitter, and I'm really just getting started, but if you're actually ready to go deeper on this topic and learn techniques that you can use to make glitter art either as a hobby or fine art, it's something that I'm really passionate about, and I am teaching for the first time ever at glitterartist.com, my TRILLI 10-day glitter art experience. Either sign up for the next class or my wait list. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to let me know that you're interested in this topic so that I can make more content in the near future.